Hello YouTube. I just wanted to make a short video about this 2005 6-liter Ford. I purchased this truck about 2 years ago and I've been having some issues with it, and so I wanted to make a YouTube video doing kind of self-filming with my camera. Hopefully this works out, but anyway, wanted to make a video describing the symptoms I was having and what I found out and how I fixed it. I completely fixed it. It runs perfect. Could not be happier. So what was happening is I bought this truck from a guy in Salt Lake. I live in western Wyoming, and he had taken it to a professional diesel shop. Gave me a folder of over $15,000 in receipts for repairs. He had a complete bulletproof, ARP studs, heads, all new injectors, all this stuff. Well, he took the truck in. Let me back up. He originally bought this truck for $16,000 from a used dealer out the door in Salt Lake. Had $136,000 original on it, and then he took it right to this diesel professional, and they did a bulletproof. Well, in his receipts, as I was looking through them, 2 years after the initial bulletproofing, he'd taken it back to the shop for all new injectors again. It was another $4,000. And I was thinking, man, why did he do that? And so I actually called the shop and asked him, when you do a bulletproof service, what does that include, and blah blah blah, and they did not really want to talk to me. I'm not going to mention any names, but I would never go to that shop. So when I got the truck, I paid $9,000 for this truck. It's an 05 Lariat extended cab 250, super nice condition, two-tone, leather, all original, really nice clean truck. I paid $9,000 for this truck. So this guy bought it for $16,000, and then he dumped another $15,000. I had $15,000 in receipts to this diesel shop for this truck. So he was into it over $30,000, and he had put like 20,000 miles on it over the course of 3 or 4 years. It was just ridiculous, and I bought it for $9,000. So I was wondering, why did he sell it to me for $9,000? And I negotiated a little bit. He was asking a little bit more, I think 10.5 or something. But anyway, when I got it, I started having some issues. At first, it was kind of starting to hesitate, like you'd be pulling my trailer, a load up a hill, and it would kind of do a little hesitate. And then after I'd drive for an hour, let's say to a city, and I'd be sitting at a stoplight, I could hear and feel the engine surging. Rung, 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 rung. No check engine light, no nothing. I took it to the Ford dealer. They had it for a month, over a month. Well, we can't really figure anything out. It seems to be running okay. There are some codes for the high pressure oil pump. Well, if any of you know, high pressure oil pump on a 6.0 rarely goes out. And so I was like, no, I'm just going to come and get it. So I went to the dealership early in the morning in the winter. It was freezing cold. It was below zero. It wouldn't even start. It was just acting up, and I could not figure out what the heck was going on with this thing. So the video that I'm making now is to kind of describe my little experience and what I found. I finally solved it, and the point of my video is to encourage all of you 6.0 owners to do your online research. There's amazing resources on YouTube. Diesel Tech Ron, PowerstrokeHelp.com, the Ford, what's his name? Mechanic Muckaloco, sorry, I can't remember the guy's name. In the shop, the guy out in Massachusetts, I can't remember his name. Just great, awesome, instructional, informative videos that have amazing detail and a wealth of information. So the point of my video is to don't trust in the dealer. 90% of the time, you take your truck to the dealer, and it's guys like me and you who are just trying to figure it out. And of course, they have some more added technical diagnostic equipment and experience, but it's not always useful when there's a mysterious issue going on. And anyway, so I just wanted to make a quick video, talk about my experience and what I found to solve the problem. So again, it was doing surging. The idle was doing this. One time I went out to Cheyenne, to eastern Wyoming, to pick up a big load of windows, and I was hauling to get to Home Depot before they closed. It was late at night. I was coming across country, pulling my trailer pretty hard, and coming into the exit and let off the gas, and it just totally died. It just died, and I coasted to a stop. Holy crap, I hope this thing starts again. And I tried it a couple of times and it fired right up. Just weird things going on that I could not figure out what the heck was going on. Getting frustrated with it. So what I did is I pulled it in my shop here, and I just was meticulous and took my time and started doing a physical inspection of the wiring and the components and everything. And here's what I found. So the very first thing I found, we spin the camera around, was the IRP sensor. The screen's off. Can't get that thing off. Anyway, there we go. There's a screen right there. The IPR valve. The screen looked a little like sucked in or something. So I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to replace that. Next thing, I took the valve covers off. This Diesel Expert shop, so-called, had put like Dorman Chinese crap aftermarket dummy plug and standpipe. And I just happen to have a factory OEM, so I changed those out. These are obviously a different kind of color and weight. They're like really light and chintzy Chinese crap. And this right here is the definitive third item that I found that I think the problem was. This is the EBP sensor, the exhaust back pressure sensor on the driver's side of the motor. I'll show you on the truck. If you look carefully, you can see that little insulator clip is missing. And I remember watching Diesel Tech Ron, I believe it was, talk about this, and he said make sure you don't lose that little isolator because they'll come off, and if they do, those connectors will read falsely because of cross voltage happening where the wires are so close, and it'll cause you problems. So I fixed the IPR valve, the standpipe and dummy plug, and then I replaced that because when I unplugged that and looked at it carefully, I noticed that was missing. So-called diesel experts had no idea. They just plugged it back in, and I believe what was happening with this guy who previously owned the truck is he was having similar issues that I was, kept taking it back to the shop. Oh, well, you need new injectors. There was a receipt in there for an alternator replacement for $650. $650, and it wasn't even an OEM alternator. And it's just ridiculous. And so the point of my video is trust in yourself. Pop the hood on these. Take a minute and do your own due diligence and effort to try to identify and make sure that everything is in the correct place, that the components look right. Pop the hood here. You know, you can do a lot through YouTube, through online forums, and nobody knows your truck as well as you do. And so I just wanted to encourage you, after my journey, if you will, it's taken me a year to figure this out. And I finally just took it in the shop and took the time to start taking things apart. And one more thing I'll tell you really quick is when I first got it, about a week or two after I brought it home, I noticed it would miss, and then sometimes it would just be missing on one or two cylinders, and it would clear up, and I thought it was the injectors. Well, on that deal, this was after I first bought it probably a year and a half ago, I took everything apart, did a close inspection of the fuel injection wiring harness. Well, those idiots had taken the intake manifold bolts, and on a 6.0 it's very specific on what is a stud and what is a bolt placement on the intake manifold, because the studs carry are little support points for the wiring harness, and they had that all screwed up. They had a stud where a bolt was supposed to be, and this freaking intake wiring harness went right across a stud, and the stud was like digging up into the wires. Just stupid stuff like that. $15,000 in receipts to this poor guy. And here's the guy thinking, man, this 6.0 sucks. I don't ever want to have a 6.0 again. Probably, you know. He didn't say this to me because he didn't say anything. He just, here's the truck, buy, you know. Buyer beware. And I had to figure all this out. But I've learned that it's not always the best decision to take and trust your truck to a so-called diesel expert. Do your own research, look at things, take the time to look at your truck, make sure things are done right. And if you do need to take it to a shop, do your best to get some references and do some homework on the shop that you want to take it to, and make sure it's reputable and they have experience on 6.0s. And what a shame, the amount of money that this guy wasted. Well, the happy ending is this truck starts and runs amazing. I could not be happier. It runs perfect now. Those issues are gone. Like I said, there was no check engine light or any indicator. I just had to figure it out. And I did. I tried to take it to the dealer, and in the end, I figured it out on my own. And I just want to encourage all you 6.0 guys out there who might be having mysterious issues like mine, that your truck may have been worked on by somebody else in the past. Take a look at those items, the sensor clips on the ICP sensor as well, right there. The ICP clip is exactly the same as the back pressure one on the other side, and it's important that that center isolator is in place or it'll cross read. So anyway, that's been my journey. 9,000 bucks, has 165,000 on it now. Absolutely love it. Gets great mileage, no DEF, no DPF. It's a nice, comfortable truck. I put a Blue Dot steering box, all new shocks, brakes. You know, I've definitely done my part to get it up to snuff and everything, but absolutely love it. Great truck. Love the 6.0s. Love learning about them and trying to fix them. And just really quick, this is my 06 dually. Same thing, 6-liter, 6-speed manual. And same thing on this. I bought it with a blown head gasket. You never hardly see a manual anymore. But absolutely love this truck. Runs perfect. I had the heads off on the dually. Learned how to pull the heads in the, you know, with the cab on. Didn't lift the cab. Pulled the heads. Did all a complete overhead. All new injectors, oil cooler, all new oil rail components, and glow plugs. This truck runs perfect. It just runs amazing. Pulls great. Pull trailers all the time. I did put ARP head studs back on it, and absolutely love it. So that's my video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and maybe that will help any of you who might be having some issues that you just can't figure out, to look at those plugs and just kind of do a physical inspection of things to make sure that everything's been done right and put back in its proper place. All right, that's the video. Thank you.